Hello everyone and welcome back to Eat Sleep Brief. Today we're going to be covering a little bit of a different topic. A little bit of dosing is going to be what we are going to be covering today. So as you guys may or may not know, especially you guys that have been in the reefing for a little bit, you probably know about dosing. There's trace elements, minor, major and minor trace elements. Your major trace elements being calcium, alkalinity, magnesium. Your tank really needs that to be at a certain level. To be at a certain level consistently, because if your tank fluctuates too much, especially with alkalinity, you'll never really, or your corals will never be happy. You're always going to see them very unhappy, just not the way they should be. So obviously it can go a little bit more into detail, but just to keep it very simple today, we're just going to leave it at that. Your minor trace elements, as you can see, like here, iodine, potassium, iron, and a little bit more trace elements here in the foundation C, are stuff that your tank can kind of get away with not having, and you'll still see it happy, but you may not see the right colors. Iodine is one that you kind of do need, at least from the reading I've done, but a lot of these elements can be replaced in the salt you use. Specifically to use Red Sea. They do have these elements in the salt, but they do get consumed. So just having all these elements present in your water will give you a lot better coloration, just overall very good polyp extension. But this is these are again what we call the minor elements. You want to make sure your major elements are consistent and always there, much like calcium, alkalinity, and magnesium. This is kind of just stepping it up, taking it to a new level. So obviously I've been dosing in my Jebao for a while, and I really asked the question. I said, well, how in the heck am I getting my minor trace elements back into my tank? Well, I really wasn't. I had no way of doing it other than water changes. But for you guys that have been following me, you know that I've actually cut back on water changes. I've been kind of doing a load of experiments, see if I can get away with it, and I very much have been getting away with it. So I was like, you know what? I need to find something to get these trace elements back into the tank. So immediately went to Red Sea. As you guys know, Red Sea is a very well-respected brand in the reefing industry. Everything they release, they don't just wake up one day and say, we're going to make a new product. They do a lot of research, a lot of time, a lot of money is invested into these products. So for that reason, I chose to go with Red Sea, and not to mention I'm also using Red Sea salt. As far as what I'm dosing for my major elements, alkalinity, calcium, magnesium, I use BRS 2-part. That is hooked up to my Jebao Doser, which you guys can see videos of that doser and how I set it up and so on. So yeah, I had to find a way to dose these trace elements. I really love the way Red Sea did it. So Red Sea has their coral program, A, B, C, and D. Now the beauty of these elements, you guys may be saying, well, how do you know how much to dose of each element? Like, do I need to buy more test kits? The beauty of these test kits, I don't know if you guys can read what it says here, but it says easy dose by calcium. So in other words, Red Sea, on their testing, they found that these minor elements are consumed at a similar rate to calcium. I don't know if I should word it at the same rate of calcium, but either way, they're consumed at a similar rate of calcium. So they did the math, they did all the research for you. They spent the thousands or hundreds of thousands, maybe even millions of dollars to figure this out. And they found that here, let me give you a perfect example. For every 10 milliliters of calcium, you need 1 milliliter of this supplement. And the same applies to every one of these. For every 10 milliliters of calcium consumed, you need 1 milliliter of each supplement. So now, one thing to understand is 10 milliliters of the Red Sea product. For you guys that are like me, if you're using BRS 2-part, you cannot use this math, because if you use this math, you're gonna actually be, under, no, over, I want to say you're going to be overdosing. Wait, are you overdosing? It's one, no, actually I think you're going to be underdosing by a lot. The reason for it, Red Sea calcium is known to be very concentrated, where the BRS is not as concentrated, so you need a lot. It's about 3 times weaker, if you want to call it, than the Red Sea calcium. So that being said, I've already went ahead and figured out all the math for you guys, but we'll cover that a little bit later. So if you are using the Red Sea calcium, for every 10 milliliters of supplement of the calcium is 1 milliliter of each supplement. So it'd be one of these, 1 milliliter of these, 1 milliliter of these, 1 milliliter of these. Let's say if you were only, again, we're talking about the Red Sea. Let's assume your tank is only consuming 5 milliliters. So half that amount, obviously you would use half this amount. So you would use half a milliliter of each product. Now they do recommend you to dose these on a daily basis. If not daily, break out your dosage either every 2 days, 3 days, or once a week. I probably wouldn't spread it out any more than once a week. So if your tank was using 10 milliliters, you would want to dose, if you did it once a week, you would do 7 milliliters a week. So 1 counting for Monday through Sunday. Obviously, if you didn't do that, you would just do it daily or every other day or so on, and just kind of break down the math so it works. So a lot of you guys may be worried, and you may be asking yourself, well, I'm kind of afraid to use this because I don't want to overdose. One thing I found with my research is Red Sea, and I hope I can explain this in a way that you guys can understand, because I know I understand it. So for iodine, I'm going to use iodine as an example, but it's the same case for each and every one of these. For iodine, what Red Sea had to do to figure out this dosage here is they had to really, dilute this iodine solution. Because if you bought 100% iodine and you dosed it this amount, you'd probably wipe out your tank within one dosage probably. Same with potassium or iron. If you actually bought this iodine, reef grade iodine, 100% concentrated iodine, and you dose that amount, you'd probably be wiping out the tank. Same with potassium, iron. So I found out in my research that for Red Sea to make this math make sense, they actually diluted each and every one of these quite a bit. So right away from the get-go, it's very difficult to overdose them. The main thing you have to know when dosing these is just know how much of your calcium is being consumed. Once you understand that, once you know that, it's very simple. I wouldn't be worried about overdosing these chemical. But I would read the manual, as they do tell you what to look out for. Now, another thing you can do is they do sell, Red Sea does sell a few of these test kits, so you can actually test them, or you can do the Triton method and send your water out to be tested, or API. Any one of those companies can tell you if you have too many of any of these elements. Now, you may encounter an issue if you are using 2-part like Bionic, just because that product does have trace elements in there. And the stuff I personally don't like about Bionic is they don't tell you what element is in there or how much of it. Great product Bionic, but the fact that they don't tell you how much and of which is in there, I kind of don't like that, because it really makes stuff like this very difficult. So for you guys that are using BRS 2-part, I went ahead and did the math, because this math here and the math you'll find in the manual does not apply if you are using BRS 2-part. So to break it down and to make it very, very simple for you guys, if you guys are using BRS 2-part calcium, this is literally the math you got to worry about. For every 1 milliliter of calcium, you dose 0.02 of each and every one of these trace elements. So for example, my tank is consuming every day 5 milliliters of BRS calcium. So if you guys do the math, 0.02 times 5 gives me 0.1 milliliter. And I think I did my math right. I don't have my calculator, but it's 0.1 milliliter. So typically if you have a syringe that has 10 parts, obviously you would just fill it up to 1 part, and it ends up being like 3 drops of each one of these. So I've broken it down to be every, why does my light look weird? Anyways, I don't know why my light looks yellow, but what I've done is I dose every other day. So I dose 2 milliliters every, or no, sorry, 0.2 milliliters every other day. And that's how I've broken it down. And I kind of do want to bring you guys along the road to see how this stuff works. I want to kind of do a 2 to 3 week mark on running this stuff, and see if it's even worth it. Obviously, being Red Sea, everything Red Sea, at least what I've used and what I've heard people talk about is they're great products. So I really expect it to work. And yeah, we shouldn't have any issues with it. So just to quickly see the marketing on the box. So what this has is iodine, bromine, and fluorine complex that promotes the pink colors in corals. So there's all 3 of these trace elements here in this product. Let me try and zoom in. There you go. Here's a few different languages, and like I said, each one of these does include a manual inside, which I highly recommend you guys reading. For this one, for the part B, it contains potassium and boron complex that promotes the red color in corals. And then this bad boy here, the iron, this has iron and complex trace elements, and complementary trace element complex that promotes the green color in corals. And then the last one being D, trace element complex that promotes the purple blue colors in corals. So you can see right there. So I think that's pretty much it, guys, for today's video. For you guys on the fence of using these products, hopefully you're gonna be able to watch this video and watch my progress and see if it's even worth it. I do expect it to work. Again, being Red Sea, they always release great products. So stay tuned, guys, for future videos to come and kind of give you guys a 3 week, either 3 week or one month mark on using this product. But that's pretty much it. So hopefully you guys got to get something out of the video, especially if you guys are on the fence of using this product. So far, I'll recommend it, but we'll see how the progress goes. And that's going to be it, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you aren't subscribed to my YouTube, please subscribe. And yeah, guys, thanks for watching. As always, till next time.